Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Seresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for June 20th, 2011. This is Patrick Seresna. As always, we start off with a chart of the S&P 500 using that SPDR exchange traded fund symbol SPY. We were looking over the last few weeks for that market decline to reach that 126, 127 focal point down along the downside. And while we now have an oversold market that is coming to key support lines, there is a lot of selling pressure, momentum behind the selling. If for whatever reason we start off next week with aggressive selling, if it breaks below 126, we may now find support on the SPY until even the 122, 123 level down below. Now we are overdue for a bounce, so if the bulls do dig in and hold this support line, we wouldn't rule out the possibility of even a short-term rally over a week or two back up to the 130, 131 level. In the bigger picture, it's not out of the question for us to be even down at the 118, 119 level by the end of the summer in a progressive correction downwards, but more than likely that is not going to go down there in a straight line, and we're overdue for a short-term market bounce, so we don't want to be loading the boats short here. Next here I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is symbol JLO. As well, the support lines at the 22.5, 23 focal point held very well, and regional banks are trying to do a little bit of backfilling and retracing. Certainly if this week starts off with a little bit of strength, we can't rule out the possibility for a retest of even the 24 area on the upside. But at any test of that zone, any failure to have any follow through, we fully expect that this index will roll over again, and if given the right motivation, could break 22.5 on the downside and then retest the September and November lows. Next here I want to take a look at the ISE Syndex, which is symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies, and we're looking for a market top to develop around the 140, 145 level. Had a very strong reversal and subsequent breakdown all the way down to what we marked off as the 128 to 130 focal point below. At this stage, we're doing some backfilling, and we certainly can't rule out any short-term rallies that even go up to a 135, 136 on the upside, but any failure over a 1 week rally that has the Syndex rolling over again, we could make it all the way down to the 120, 122 area before we find some really good lows this summer. Next year I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is a symbol RUF, and essentially the home builders sold off right down to the lows that they put in back in August, around the 820 area on the downside. Now they've been consolidating down at these lower levels, but any failure of these home builders to hold on to any rallies are marked off at a blue zone where all the lows came in May before the break. If we just see consolidations down at these levels and then another rollback down, we may go all the way down to the last set of lows that were put in back in the 2009 and 2010 years, down around the 720 area. So we're going to watch to see whether further technical weakness continues to develop here. There's no indication of a market bottom yet. Next year I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is symbol FUM, and more or less after that double top, we've had a market that has been weakening and deteriorating down lower. We were looking for this move to make it all the way down towards the 118, 120 area on the downside. That's still possible, but the current support lines around this 125 area continue to hold. At this stage, we could potentially see a bounce off of this support line rather than a move all the way down to 118. But in the bigger picture, we don't anticipate there to be a bottom yet in the natural gas index, so any short-term rallies should be used as an opportunity to reduce exposure to this index. Finally, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is a symbol UKX, and essentially here we had a breakdown below that 585 to 590 support line the other week, and it really just opened the window for that selling to come in on the FTSE. At this juncture, the next support line on the FTSE is where it put in its lows back in November and March around the 555, 560 area, and so there is a little further downside. There's always the chance that the FTSE puts in its lows already if the whole market bounces on the very short term, but in the bigger picture I think that the summer will be a corrective period for all markets, and the FTSE, even on a short-term rally, will probably turn down again and still find some lower lows. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.